Beauty sleep is a real thing. If you are somebody that struggles with sleep, you probably know that there are those days where you wake up with puffy eyes, puffy face, dull skin, you can't focus. All of that affects what your skin looks like, but that's just the vain part that we focus on, but that deeply affects your body function. Brain fog. I've dealt with brain fog for many years. Weight gain, because when you're not sleeping well, you're holding on to that cortisol, which just stunts everything. That can increase insulin resistance. It can cause adrenal fatigue, which I've suffered from for several months since last November. I didn't get over it till probably, I would say, February or March, which was actually fast, because according to most doctors who actually acknowledge that there's adrenal fatigue, they say that you need at least 9 months to a year to recover. But I was very lucky to recover from it within 2 to 3 months. But I was all hands on deck, doing all the research, applying all the tips and tricks. And again, so this is just to indicate that sleep is integral to our health, to our skin, to our well-being, to even being able to function. I pretty much lost all ability to function, and I was making all these trips to the ER, probably 4 to 5 trips a month. That's how sleep really messed with my life to that extent. And so I took it really seriously. And finally now, at almost 47 years old, I'm turning 47, I figured it out. So I guess it had to get really bad before it got better, but I'm very thankful that it got better. And I'm here today sharing all the tips and tricks on how I actually recovered my sleep. So pay attention. If you're new here, my name is Nadia Ben-Shakroun, founder of Functional Beauty Principles, which are based on functional medicine. I blend my passion for nutrition and functional medicine with my expertise of 28 years in the beauty industry as a leader, as an educator. I've seen it all in the beauty industry, and I've also seen the lack of focus on the true causes of aging and just the superficial thinking of how to fix skin. It's always dependent on some moisturizer or miracle ingredient, which you all know that is not true. Otherwise, everybody will have great skin. Anti-aging or age reversal is much more than skin deep, and that is what I focus on thebeautydoctrine.com. That's where I give you all the tips and tricks, blending skincare with diet, lifestyle, to help you gain that inner beauty, which will shine outward, and that great glowing, even and firm skin will be really easy to attain. No Botox and no fillers needed. So let's get into my top 10 tips for beauty sleep. Tip number 10. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, like most Americans, a lot of us are sitting, like I'm doing right now, in front of our devices, working at a computer. That tires the mind and not the body. So when it's time for bed, you're actually really wired, but your body is not fatigued enough for you to be able to sleep. And so you want to exercise, you want to have that rigorous exercise in the morning, not at night, because I've experimented with this. Whenever I exercise at night, I'm more wired, and so it's hard for me to fall asleep. But when I exercise in the morning, then my body, first of all, is so much more energized, so I can actually have more energy throughout the day to work and carry out all the different responsibilities that I have. And then I'm pretty fatigued at night, so it's easier for me to fall asleep. Tip number 9. We're counting down. So tip number 9, this is huge. So trying to balance hormones, I'm still working on balancing my hormones because I'm in that perimenopausal state, but 2 extremely important hormones that all of us need to be paying attention to regardless of age are vitamin D and melatonin. And yes, they are hormones, and they're beyond just hormones. So hormones are different from regular vitamins because they are essential to our function and to our balance. And so vitamin D has to be taken in the morning, preferably D3 with K2. It's a must, because when you're taking your vitamin D alone, there's that increased retention of calcium, which can build up in your tissues, in the heart, in arteries, that can lead to high blood pressure, to clotting, to all kinds of issues. You don't want calcium build up in the arteries, you want it built up in the bone, and that's what vitamin K2 does. And so it's so important, if you're supplementing with vitamin D, and all of us should, we have to take it in combination with K2, and it needs to be taken in the morning because that helps with that production of melatonin slowly throughout the day. If you were to take it at night, you have a really high chance of staying up really late and being alert, not being able to fall asleep. The other hormone that's extremely essential for sleep is melatonin, which I alluded to. They're connected, and that needs to be taken at night. And there are actually a lot of great studies coming out, talking about how melatonin is also an antioxidant. It can actually help, in the prevention of cancer and other medical issues and metabolic issues as well. And so just a very small dose of melatonin at that time can really have benefits to sleep as well as other health benefits. Number 8 is have a caffeine curfew. So I really enjoy my coffee. I do high quality coffee, by the way. Extremely, extremely important to consume organic coffee, because coffee is one of the most heavily sprayed crops in pesticides. So it can be very, very toxic, and a lot of us enjoy it on a daily basis. And so if you can't afford to buy everything organic, just focus on those, foods and drinks that you consume daily. So for me, I have a list of about 10 things, like my coffee, my tea, berries are huge. But anyways, let's stay on the coffee. I always tend to digress. You got to have an organic coffee, and I like mine with mushrooms. So my very favorite is on my website. So that's the one that I consume on a daily basis, with a little bit of MCT oil or olive oil. And that's actually how I consume my vitamin D in the morning, with my coffee, but never on an empty stomach. I've learned that the hard way, because we wake up with really high cortisol already. Adding coffee on top of that will make it higher, so we're more jittery, and that affects our hormones. So I've learned to consume my coffee with a meal and with some good fat. That has been proven to have incredible health benefits, but can limit that coffee to that 1 cup in the morning and not consume any caffeine, or at least high amounts of caffeine after that. So I do consume 1 or 2 cups of green tea. They have incredible health benefits, but never past 2 p.m. If I wanted any warm drinks later on after 2, then it would be a mint tea, ginger, anything that is caffeine free. Tip number 7 is to take different types of magnesium every single day. Most Americans, there was a really alarming statistic that said that most Americans, 90% or more, are deficient in magnesium, which is essential for over 600 body functions, including taking care of your nerves. It helps calm your nerves. It helps you sleep better. I go for magnesium glycinate at bedtime because it helps relax me. And I take magnesium L-threonate in the morning because it helps with cognitive function and focus. By the way, everything I recommend you can either find on my website, thebeautydoctrine.com, where I try to curate my very favorite clean and healthy skincare, makeup, and supplements. If something isn't available on there that I take, because I can't have everything, I will link it up in the description below. Tip number 6, and this I think is one of the most transformative ones. I wish I had found this supplement before. It is called Stress and Sleep Support. This you'll be able to find on my website. It's got hops flower, fermented lavender that helps actually with better absorption. Anytime something is fermented, it means it's more bioavailable, and of course it's organic. It's got ashwagandha, which is one of the most incredible herbs for longevity, for calming our nerves. It's an adaptogen, so it basically helps our body to adapt to stress. And it has reishi mushroom, another adaptogen that helps support immunity, relaxation, and memory. Tip number 5 is optimizing sleep environment. So let's talk about the pillow. Yes, you really got to have the right pillow, the right sheets, all of that to be able to fall into that sound sleep and not be all uncomfortable throughout the night. And so Omnia pillow is a lifesaver. I actually grabbed my pillow to show you. So this is what it looks like. It comes with a silk cover. Being in the beauty industry and wanting to take care of my skin in the best way possible, when you're using 100% cotton against your skin, cotton can actually absorb a lot of moisture. So it tends to absorb all of your skincare. It can dry you overnight. So it's really nice to have something that is silky, that you're having in contact with your skin. It also actually feels really cool, and coolness is really important also for being able to relax. And so I wanted to show you this. So with this pillow, if you're sleeping sideways, you're positioning your face in a way that it's completely not even in touch with the pillow. So you're not causing those wrinkles. So a lot of people kind of like push the skin in so many directions. If you're getting 8 hours of sleep, that's a third of your life that you're lying down. So you need to be lying down on a pillow that's not going to cause you to have a lot of wrinkles, and that gives you just the right support for your neck as well. As we know, a tight neck is really what contributes to jowls, to loss of elasticity, to kind of like everything falling down, because our neck muscles are very, very powerful and they pull down on that skin our entire life. So we need to make sure that we're really supporting or supportive of our neck muscles. We're always massaging and stretching in the morning. But again, I digress. Let's stay with the pillow. Very important to have that nice support. If you sleep on your back, there is a space here as well that supports the back of your head. And obviously there is that spacing on both ends of the pillow. And so I highly recommend something like this. It's a little bit of an investment, but it's very, very worth it. I believe I have a discount code for this one, so look for it in the description below. Tip number 4 is grounding sheets. If you're not grounding, you're missing out. We are, as human beings, we are created to live in harmony with the earth. It sounds new agey and hippie and all of that, but it is true. And now people are starting to get into it and to believe it, because finally science is paying attention to it. So there are a lot of studies now on grounding and its power. And basically grounding is being in contact with the earth. So when you are at the beach, you're barefoot, you're touching the sand, or when you go to the park, now I remove my shoes and actually have the bottoms of my feet touch the ground. Some people hug trees, whatever, but you want to be in contact with the earth, and that helps calm and ground us. And so if you don't have time, like a lot of us now are like boxed up in these little apartments, and we're indoors. We're not designed as human beings to be indoors the majority of our lives, but we are, because of our lifestyles. And so grounding sheets, they actually get plugged into the wall, and they have these almost invisible wires that have you, as you're lying down at night, you are grounding as if you are lying down directly on grass or on sand.
And so I was shocked. I mean, I've had a grounding mat. I have that. I wrote about it on a blog on my website. It's phenomenal. I do my yoga exercises on the grounding mat, but that's typically 20-30 minutes, if I'm actually working out at home. I tend to use it more in the winter, but it's really hard to get that time every day, on the grounding mat. But now that I have grounded sheets, I see, the change in my sleep quality is like day and night. They are so worth it. Tip number 3, it's kind of still tied to having that environment around us that's conducive to good sleep, and that is having quality air indoors. So an air purifier is paramount, and it makes a big difference. I do notice those differences the nights that I have my air purifier on, or even at close proximity, and if I don't have it on. So now it is 24/7. It's running in the bedroom, and that makes a very big difference. Another factor that contributes to air quality that I'll squeeze in there is plants. So you want to have a big plant in your room that will help, absorb all that carbon dioxide and provide you more clean air, more oxygen. Tip number 2 is adopting the 3-2-1 method, and that is no food 3 hours before bed, no drink 2 hours before bed, and no digital screens or digital exposure 1 hour before bed. And so the 3 hours is essential where you're not having any food, because when we eat and go right to bed, our bodies are digesting, so they cannot rest. You want to allow that rest for you to be able to have a deeper sleep. Number 2 is when, if you have any fluids, you're going to be waking up at night. I tend to have more fluids in the morning. So when I first wake up, I have a big glass of water with lemon, and I'm constantly sipping on some, liquid, healthy liquid. So water with a little sea salt or some electrolytes, like I said, lemon water, green tea in the morning. In the afternoon, I'll drink maybe a matcha after lunch, or I'll have ginger tea, I'll have mint tea. And so there are plenty of different drinks that I would have throughout the day. Sometimes I'll have a relaxing tea, like a lavender type tea, closer to dinner time, but never within that last 2 hours. So for my bedtime is 10 p.m., no drink whatsoever past 8. And we need to allow for our brains to register that is nighttime. We live in this digital world where lights are always on no matter what time of day, and that is really confusing to our circadian rhythm, to our brain. So it's so important to dim things down, even have like light bulbs that are red, like red light bulbs that you turn on at night, or even just have a lot less light and hardly any lights around you when you're asleep. And so even your digital clock around you, you don't want to have that. So if you tend to be in an environment that has some types of lights, like maybe from your internet router or your clock, try to wear a sleep mask. There is this one which I love. It's really silky and soft. It's called Kitsch, and it's on my website. So that's something I wear, especially if I'm traveling, if I'm in a hotel room. I don't know what my environment will be like, and so that's something that is always in my travel bag, and very often I'll use at home as well. And tip number 1 is to increase your body temperature at night, right before sleep, and there is some really great science coming out about that. And so either take a hot bath, which I don't have access to at this point because I live in a New York apartment, so I have a standing shower, but I use my sauna blanket to break a really good sweat before bed, and that knocks me right out.
And if you haven't looked into the science behind sauna, you ought to, especially if you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle. A lot of people think if they're just eating healthy and exercising, that's pretty much it. No, you can optimize your health dramatically by regular use of sauna and red light. And so it is said, there was a 21-year study. It's not said, it's actually, it's a fact. A 21-year study that really proved that regular use of sauna, not every once in a while, but regular use of sauna can reduce all-cause mortality by up to 60%, which is insane. So sauna is one of the biggest hacks to longevity and health. For those of you that don't have access to a sauna every day because of lack of room or access, or if you have to go all the way to your gym to use a sauna, bring it to you. It's a great investment, a great gift for somebody that you love to just have a sauna blanket. It's like a little cocoon. It's fantastic. I have it on my bed. I just slide in there, zip it up, allow myself to sweat for about 15-20 minutes and then just jump out of it and into my grounding sheets. And that is one of the best tips that I can give you for your overall well-being, for your longevity and improved sleep. I mentioned a lot of products today, so I'm going to do my best to have all of them linked up in the description below. If I have access to any discount codes, I'll make sure to include them as well. I hope this video was of value to you. Share it with somebody that you care about. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Be well, be safe, be beautiful. I'll see you next time.